Hey guys, welcome back to the Fortified Castle. Hi to all my viewers. It's late at night. I mean, late, 12:30, something like that. Some storms are rolling through here. Man, it sounds like a war zone outside. Heavy, heavy rain. The same storm that caused tornadoes in the Midwest recently and up in Michigan. That's passing through, so I really can't sleep when that stuff's going on. I came out and put together these knives right here. Uh, all of these in this section were in a live show that I did Tuesday. These over here I just brought out as I thought about what I wanted to do on the video. And I was looking at these knives. I often do after a video. I just, I have them there. Sometimes it's a knife I haven't seen in a while. And, I just like going through them and getting to know them again, kind of. They're just absolutely, beautiful. This is a case knife, if you haven't noticed. The new razor pattern. Look at that centering, dead on. And when I did the live show, it kind of turned into a case referendum. There was a lot of discussion about case problems they have, quality assurance, a lot of issues, that we covered. And I really didn't mean it to be a case video, but it just, turned out that way. Sometimes it does. It's what people wanted to talk about, and that's what we talked about. And as I was sitting here going over these knives, looking at them, this is a Robeson right here, four-bladed Congress, 1910 to 1921. Really fantastic knife. I'm looking at these fantastic old knives, and in between, the case knives. And this is a 19. Well, let me check. I think it's a 60. Yeah. So this is 1940 to 1965. And, just looking at them, looking at the differences between these old cases and the new cases. And you can see here, even after all this time, it's still not rubbing the edge there. Pretty good centering on this pen blade here. Nice little easy out open notch. Real nice snap on this thing. Pretty heavy. It's heavier than the cases now, but what's the difference between them? And there are some differences, but you also have to admit, when you hold them side by side, there's a lot more to this knife than these older knives. Definitely made better. I could spend a whole video pointing out why, but they're better. But these are pretty good. There's no gapping in this. Beautiful mirror polish. Good symmetry on the rounds there. You look at the ends, little bobble right there on the ends. You could see it, but not bad. And I don't know, man. When you put these cases up to old knives like this, which this one was in mint condition when I got it, just phenomenal phenomenal condition of this knife. Got out of a antique dealer. You know, it's just incredible the way they used to make these knives. Look at the cut there. Just really tight tolerances on these old knives. And you know, case nowadays compares very favorably with these knives. And, you know, they compare very favorably to the older cases. So if you look real close here, you can see how it's set down there. The transition. And, you know, all these cases, which by the way, these weren't picked out for any particular reason. So these are just kind of randomly picked out of the drawer for the live show. And you can see the centering right there. And these weren't picked out in the store. I ordered them offline, sight unseen. There's no gaps in this. It looks like it is, but there isn't. And if you open this up and you look at that transition, it's perfect. Perfect transition. It's not set down at all. This one's a 1986 and it's set down. It's pretty bone in here. I like it. So, you know, they can have some problems. They can get a little too busy, and sometimes the edges, the bevel edge is not perfect. But I can remember in the 90s, they weren't even sharpening the edges. You would get a knife and you would have to put an edge on the knife, and because they didn't sharpen them, and it was the craziest thing. I think it had to do with you know, legal problems. But I mean, now guys will resharpen these cases just to put their own edge on them. But really, most of them, I've never had one come dull from the factory. I've never really had a problem with the working edges that they came with. Sometimes the grinds are a little off, and you know, it's your choice. I choose to regrind them for a consistent edge on there, but they work just fine the way they come from the factory. I mean, they're actually pretty impressive. I mean, you look at this Walden. Walden's one of my favorite old vintage knives. They just made a super quality knife, and this is a beautiful whittler, and just a fantastic build on this knife. It's in really good shape, excellent condition, and you know, when you hold up these cases to them, they compare really favorably. They are not built the way these were. You know, you can see that you have you know, the backs, the spines are squared now. You can see how this bolster was rounded over, almost coming to the bottom here. Just much better. This is just a square, basically. You can see it. It's just square. And it's not as square as some knives, like some of the Chinese produced knives, but you know, it's not like this. But they really compare favorably with the build quality on them. And especially when you look back, you know, this is an old Delrin that they used a lot. And you certainly, you know, case from time to time use different things, stag, mother of pearl, but mostly, you know, it was this, and wood. And they're kind of plain. It's a nice knife, but you know, not the best quality on this knife. It's kind of stiff, the action on it. And that's another thing about these case knives. The actions are always pretty good. This is a Bear & Son, probably the best Bear & Son I've ever seen. I paid $125 for that. And it's a Moore maker. And the reason I paid so much is you have that special shield. You have some engraving on the bolster and engraving here. But the action is okay on this, but it's really, you can see right there, it's just really spongy. And just all through here, it feels kind of sloppy. And you can close your eyes and tell the difference between, if you're opening two knives, you can tell the difference between the action on a case knife and one on the Bear & Son. And if you look here, you can see the gaps in the bone, between the bone and the liner here. Pretty prevalent. I try to get there. There it is. You see that? And so, I think overall, Case does a pretty good job. When you look at knives like these, and some of these knives, the Rough Riders, like this Queen right here, has no gap in. It's a really good build. I paid $16 for this. It looks like gap in here, but it isn't. I think it's a step, shadow from the step. When you hold it up to the light, there's no light coming through there. And pretty decent job with the abalone. It's nice and tight throughout here, but it still doesn't really compare to the case knives. A lot of them are that way. This is really nice. The bone, I like it, but it doesn't really, compare to the bone on the case knife. How you see how shiny that is right there. They polish that bone up, and you just don't get that out of Rough Riders and Queens. It's irregular. The dies aren't consistent. Here's one right here. Really nice knife. I like it, but you can see where it's just like gray because there's no dye there. And it's just funky. And when you turn them over, you notice it just kind of looks bland. But when you turn a case over, you see that marbling from the dye. They do a fantastic job with the dye on them. Let's see if I can get another one here. Which one? I'll do this one. See the difference? So, they're okay. Rough Rider's okay. But you definitely can tell the difference between the case. And the case really is the base. It's what we judge all other knives on, is the case knife. I've watched videos, guys talking about their case knife, showing how messed up it is. I get it. I understand. It's just not been my experience with my collection, with a lot of knives. And one of the things, like when I watch a video like that, the person's not really saying whether this is his 20th case or his 10th or his 5th. It seems like it's his first or second, something like that. And I think you can have problems on any knife when you first get the knife. So you'll see a lot of videos on a lot of different brands where people are unhappy with them and send it back. So I think that's just the nature of the industry, the knife industry today, not so much with case. Should they have better quality control? Yeah, they should. But I think across the board today, there are issues with the knife industry as a whole, with quality issues. And um, I just see it as an industry problem more than a case problem. And I love looking at these knives though. I'll sit here, pull them out, and man, they're just fantastic. This is a Robeson. Beautiful old knife. Look at that. Nice, sharp, tang stamp, good blade geometry. A little bit of wear there. Still has its original small edge on there. Fantastic. I just love playing with knives, especially these old ones. They're just incredible. Look at the color on that thing. Just incredible. This is an old, I think this is a Schrade Cutlery Company knife. Oh, get in there. There you go. It's a Blees, Mize, and Goodman knife, which was a hardware store out in Kansas. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Wasn't really going anywhere with this, just kind of, I don't know. I like my case collection. I think a lot of the problems, are industry problems. You find them. This Boker right here, I had to bend the blades to get them to work. Every single blade there was hitting when I got it. So, it is what it is. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for supporting the channel.